I think I will. On November 2nd.
Yeah. And welcome to another edition of Anthony and Ari Unfiltered, a weekly radio show with former Congressman Anthony Esposito and Inspector General, Department of Labor, in conversation with Assemblyman Ari Brown on the hot button issues of the day. Here now are your hosts.
Thanks, Zev. Another great edition. Unfortunately, we're without my partner, Congressman and Inspector General Anthony Esposito. He's in Washington on important business for us all, and he's a fighter like no other. But today is a very special day. We have an important guest. She's going to go by the name Faye, no last names. She's isn't a politician. She's not a pundit. She's not someone waiting around for permission to speak. She's the woman who built a national army out of laptops, late nights, and sheer Jewish grit. Faye, sitting right next to me, is right here from the Five Towns. And she's here to share some very important messaging for the Jewish people. She started an organization through a WhatsApp called Pens for Swords. It's a volunteer network of writers, researchers, tech pros, and what she proudly calls email detectives. Every day, her group pushes out 10 to 12 targeted actions. And I know that because I get about 1 million emails a day as an elected, but you know what? It's great. I see the activity of the constituents. And the preloaded links and messaging, I guess people can alter the messaging, but they're targeting, governments, corporations, school boards, media outlets, you name it. We're all getting this messaging. They racked up more than 900 documented wins. Could you imagine this? Reaching out to me, reaching out to the United States Senators, the Congress people, and it's effective. People know the force behind what Faye does. There's no funding, there's no title. She does this just as a great American, a great Long Islander, as a great Jew. Again, her organization is Pens for Swords. Faye, tell us about your organization and how you came up with this remarkable idea.
So it's not an organization. It's just a grassroots movement, we like to call it. It's all volunteers. I don't even know how long it's going to last. It's only going to last as long as it's needed, and I hope it's not going to be needed much longer. After October 7th, I felt very strongly about seeing people ripping down the hostage posters like everybody else. And I just started writing letters to, schools, if it was a teacher or, a guy who worked in a garage, I wrote to his landlord or anybody, just to try to get them to feel what they did and get fired, honestly, and it worked. And I kept putting my letters on Instagram, and people were like, oh, can I sign them also? So I started getting more and more followers, and people were signing the letters, and I learned how to do the tech. I'm just a grandma. Like, I don't know how to do anything.
Can you believe this young girl's a grandma? I can't even believe it.
5, almost 6, thank God. And then I moved it over to WhatsApp because more and more people were joining up. And right now, and then I recruited more better writers than myself, smarter people than me, lawyers, retired teachers, principals, psychologists, regular stay-at-home moms, editors, people who just wanted to help out to fight for Israel and fight against anti-Semitism. We now have a team of about 25, almost all women, I'm proud to say, of just unbelievable warriors that day and night are fighting for the Jewish people across the globe. You said that my group is national, it's international. We have people from all over the world.
I see a group, sorry to interrupt, more than just the Jewish people, because you're fighting for American values, because what's good for the Jewish people is certainly good for the rest of the world.
100%.
We're fighting for the innocent lives, not only in Gaza, but for what's right for humanity.
Yes, a lot of our work ends up being for every single American. Our group is nonpartisan. It's for anybody. We have plenty of non-Jewish people on the groups. We have a ton of Christian allies, which is my heart and soul. I'm so appreciative.
I keep interrupting you. You said something so important. I love all of my colleagues, well, except for Zoran Mamdani, but a true anti-Semite in the worst possible way. I have 9 bills on anti-Semitism. I can't begin to tell you how many, mostly my Christian colleagues, signed on to my bill.
Yeah.
I wish my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, even the Orthodox, would join me in my press conference. They're good guys. I love them all dearly. It's time they became Republicans so we can get rid of the supermajority that would have the most devastating effect on the Democrat Party. and just put an end to this regime of chaos that's Zoran Mandani. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're right. Our Christian brethren do have a tremendous effect on helping the Jewish people.
A tremendous. So anyway, so now we have about 32,000, probably more at this point, members. You can only get in by invitation. It's not something that we publicize anywhere. Nobody's allowed to post it anywhere, the link. They can send it to trusted friends and family only. And it grows and grows every single day. We also, our links for our letters, the links basically are, you click on it, goes right into your email. Everything's populated. The email addresses, the subject, the email, everything's done for you. All you need to do is sign it.
So let me ask you, if someone wants to be part of sending out these letters, how do they go about doing it? How do they reach you or reach your organization?
If they're not lucky enough to have gotten the link from somebody else, there's really no way to reach. They could reach out to you and you could, send them to me.
Send them to you
So
and,
I vet them a little bit.
you'll vet them a
Yeah,
little
we try
bit.
to keep the group safe. There's a lot of people on them and we have a lot of vital information.
Remarkable. You're listening to the Anthony and Ari Show Unfiltered on WNEW 102.7 FM and WSNR 620 AM. Special week. The hostages were freed. Unfortunately, we lost many lives. It was remarkable to see this happen. I mean, I remember, I think quite a bit older than you, when the Sadat, Carter, and Begin sat for the 1979 peace accords. It was nice. Did it mean anything? Yes, Egypt kept the peace. Have we seen anything really this remarkable? I every week at my Sabbath table, Friday night and Saturday, I give a Dvar Torah. I give a little speech to the children and grandchildren. I try to talk about the weekly parsha. Many times I focus on Moshe Rabbeinu and Moses. Why? I'm a Levite, he was a Levite, and I always say to my kids, whenever you feel bad, think of Moses, think of Moshe. Why? They tortured this poor guy for 40 years. They saw all the miracles in the world before them, splitting of the Red Sea, all the plagues, the 10 Commandments, the voice of God, and they still tortured this guy for 40 years, didn't leave him alone. I always think of President Trump in that regard.
Yeah.
The miracles. Now, 9 wars that he prevented and cut short, brought back the hostages, and still we have fellow Jews, and I'm focusing on the Jews, who 30% voted for Zoran Mandani. They see he's saying, give support to the Intifada, the death and destruction of the people, will not condemn the atrocities. Yeah, he does it with a stupid smile on his face, defunding it. Now he's trying to walk that back. Some of the worst people we can possibly imagine, yet the Jewish people support him. I don't understand why the Jewish people are like this. So we've got 20 hostages back, supposedly 24, 28 of the deceased hostages were supposed to come back, and now all of a sudden they can't find them.
They can't find them.
Your impression, your thoughts on that?
I'm still processing that they came home. I could never have imagined, none of us could have ever imagined what Trump pulled off. And I'm saying Trump because I'm not, a huge political person, but I'm seeing in front of my eyes what this man has done for our people, for America, for humanity. And there's still people that are against him. I don't understand that. I can't talk to you about immigration. I can't talk about climate control. I cannot do that. But I can tell you what's best for the Jewish people and Israel and the basic American, to see what he has accomplished. And he brought 20 people home that we never thought we would see. I got to be honest, I prayed for them. I dedicated every morning to a different hostage. Every single day, I went to town to learn about them and share that with the people in my group so that everybody had a connection and a personal feeling towards the hostage that we were dedicating to for the day. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that all 20 would come out at once, or if at all at that point.
Sure.
So we have to show him so much gratitude. He's not a God figure. He's just a man, just like all of us. And he's doing what he thinks is right. And he has really,
I think he's a messenger from God. I know that's a strong statement, but I honestly believe that. Not because his grandchildren are Jewish or his daughter's Jewish, because he does the right things. Exactly. He speaks like you and I. People say they don't like the way he speaks. I love everything he speaks. I was following him since 1980. There was this magazine called Real Estate when he opened Trump Tower in 1982 I was there. that day when it opened,
Mhm.
I saw truly a remarkable individual. And what he says is what we're thinking, but are afraid to say. Well, I'm not afraid to say, even when I say
Right.
basically everything.
You do.
Uh,
And I like that.
But part of the deal that we were making with the Palestinians, with Hamas, were all of the hostages. I feel people say, all right, we got the ones that are alive, the other ones dead. Omer
No.
Neutral.
You need to come back.
Omer Neutral. I've met the parents. This is as important to them as anything else. Every single, like we did for 9/11, every time we find some type of fragment of an individual that perished, it's meaningful to the family. They're not going to have closure, but they'll have some type of respite.
Yeah.
This is important, but I'm not sure how we deal with this. We don't want to break this fragile truce, if that's what we want to call it. But I think we have to get tough.
I have a, listen, it's very easy for me to say I'm this little tiny woman from 5 towns, but my feeling is they broke a truce. That's it. We got our hostages back.
But what do we do about it if we don't get?
I'm going to say this, and people are not going to like it. Whatever Bibi says to do, that's what I think we should do. He has led this war with strength, with
That's why we're friends. We think alike.
He is straight on. He never wavered from his positioning. He kept going. He supported his IDF. The world was against him. The world was against him. The pressure that this human being had to take, and he still pushed on every single day, and he accomplished what he wanted to. Right? The war is ending. Hamas is almost gone, and our hostages are home. Our living hostages are home. So I'm going to put my full trust in him. If he says go back to war, I'm going to support that.
And he has this full support of President Trump. You know what I find interesting? We're recording this also, but the camera loves her so much, it's not even looking at me, which is great. This will be an even better show. Well, it's kind of all the same issue. I sit in the assembly. When you look at the assembly chambers, you'll always see all of the Republicans sitting in the seats.
Mhm.
The reason, well, I stand corrected. They only show the speaker. The reason for that is if they were to pan to us like they did years ago, they'd see almost none of the Democrats there.
Right.
You have some people, some of the older people like me or older colleagues on the other side who do show up, but the majority doesn't. Have I seen Zoran Mandani once on the floor? Maybe when he had to make throw a bomb at something. I never saw him sit or debate. Did he ever pass a single piece of legislation ever? Ever? Nothing. Zero. And it's not because of his age. I mean, you look 34, but he actually is going to be 34. 34 years old, never raised a family, never had a business. Parents are horrible anti-Semites, a real trust fund baby in the biggest regard. He wants to run the financial capital of the world.
Yeah.
Yet the speaker, Carl Hastie, is supporting him. Kathy Hochul, the governor, is supporting him. What do you know the reason why? You may not know the real
I know
reason.
the reason why.
What do you think?
It's opposite day every single day in this country.
Well, that's true.
That's why it's clown world. That's it. That's my only
I
explanation.
like that. There's a different reason, and I saw it in real time. I don't know if it was this session or the one before. I said, "Where is so and so?" A certain colleague. Oh no, the DSA, the Democrat Socialists, which he calls himself a socialist. He's really a communist.
Mhm.
They primaried him and knocked him out. I said, "But this fellow was so liberal. How did they knock him out?" He wasn't liberal enough. Carl Hastie is so fearful, and Kathy Hochul are so afraid, like little girls. They really are. They just bow down to everything. I will give Carl some credit. When Zoran Mandani tried to put in what was called the "Not on My Dime" bill, that was a bill that if any organization supported, any nonprofit supported the state of Israel, they should be boycotted. And obviously he was a big BDS guy.
Mhm.
Boycott, divest, and sanction Israel. Also, to the speaker's credit, he didn't even let that come to committee. What's going to happen now if Mandani becomes mayor of New York? I happen to be the ranking member of the state of the local governments committee. I'm lucky enough to every year in the public hearings to interview the mayor. So I always had Eric Adams in front of me.
Yeah.
And at least I had a well-dressed guy. Well, I don't know. Zoran doesn't know how to dress, so I don't know. Like, well, but he's a whatever. We'll get to that when the time comes. I'm hoping that Curtis Lee will absolutely win. So people always saying to me, no, Curtis should drop out and we should let Andrew Cuomo come in. We talked about values. How could I support Andrew Cuomo? All the things he did, he had to resign from office. And I know this is
You
a
want to
big,
get into this?
yes, there's a lot of people, he has no chance of winning.
He has no chance of it.
Okay, they said the same thing when I campaigned with George Pataki.
Mhm.
And it wasn't that long ago, maybe 30 years ago, whatever it was. My dad and I were building, I'm in the construction business also, we were building a dental office, orthodontic office. And it was when Yankel Rosenbaum was killed and all the rioting and Al Sharpton became big. And the city of 42nd Street was full of hookers and all this kind of thing. I said to my dad, New York City will never recover. And miraculously, Rudy Giuliani came into office and changed the world. They say it could never happen. And we're listening to
It's very
fake
hard
polls.
to rely on, it's not fake polls. And I don't think that we should rely on miracles right now. We are in grave danger for New York. We really are. We have to go by the science, by the numbers. Right now, the only person who has a chance of winning is Cuomo. You have to balance with what you want. Sliwa's not going to win.
So the
He's
polls,
just pulling numbers away.
so the polls say. I don't see it that way. But for me to join, I've never, in nearly 60 years, I've never had a drink of alcohol. I don't bring it into my house. If my kids want to drink somewhere else, they're all adults with families, thank God, and all of that. That's it. I don't let it into my house. I have to stand on certain principle why I do things. If I see a person that fought for our community for 50 years, asked for nothing, didn't get rich off the public dime,
We love him.
we love him, then we have to show loyalty. The problem with the Jewish people time and time again is the lack of loyalty. You know how it feels to be the only Republican in state history to wear a yarmulke in elected office? How is that possible? Even as recent as 27 years ago, I was the first elected official in Long Island to wear a yarmulke in office. I'm not proud of that. I'm embarrassed for everybody else that were afraid to wear their kippah.
Oh.
I'm the only one on the Republican
That's the
side.
Jewish story.
But
blend.
And it's our responsibility to support those that support us. I believe when I look at Curtis's social media, it's remarkable. I've never
No
seen
one-
anything like the
no,
numbers this
people-
guy has.
If he had higher numbers, we would be thrilled. My group in particular, and we're working with this other group called Save NYC. We had a very long discussions and meetings about how to handle this, and we asked Mayor Adams to step down. And we asked Curtis Lewa in the most beautiful, loving, tender way, because we do adore him and we wish that he would win, but we have to see what's realistic. And
This is based on what? Based on polls? They said President Trump would never win. Both times.
Many polls.
Oh,
You're
so-
taking a big chance.
So I look at it in a very different way also. You know,
We'll see.
well, look, you can't have a situation where no Republican is running. Don't forget, one guy is running on the Democrat ticket and the other guy's running on an independent. What are we going to do? Have no Republican running? And think of it this way, and this is something that people don't mention. If let's say Curtis bows out, which he should not, let's say Curtis bows out, Cuomo is the only opponent to Mandani, and Mandani wins. Think how more empowered. They think how more empowered he's going to say, even with that, I still beat him. Now at least we can say, hey, you know what? Cuomo didn't do the right thing by bowing out, and he should bow out.
Cuomo should bow out?
He should absolutely bow out. As a
That would
woman,
be handsy.
everything that he did, and he did do a lot. He wasn't his father. I disagree totally with Mario Cuomo, but he's not half the man Mario Cuomo was.
Right.
He had to resign, and this is the guy we're going to laud and put into office over a true hero that got shot and wounded. I don't.
I'm in agreement with you. I just said that he's not polling.
You know why I see it this way? Holy schmoly! I'm a Levi. I'm a Levite. The Levites are the only people that remembered who they are. You know why? Because we always did the right thing. We weren't slaves in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't bow before the golden calf. We're different. We kind of see through all the nonsense. The Jewish people consistently just do the wrong thing when it comes to voting. But 35%, 45% voted for President Trump. What the hell's wrong with them?
I think stop thinking about it because it's gonna.
But we have this,
Crazy. It's
we
just
have this
crazy.
opportunity again right now.
Yeah.
We're listening to the Anthony and Ari Unfiltered show on WNEW 102.7 FM. I'm here with my guest, Faith Fader.
Nope.
Oops, shouldn't have said the last name. We'll do some editing. Pens for Swords organization. Faye, this has been absolutely wonderful. I want to just shift focus on something. It had nothing to do with what you're fighting for, but maybe we can get a pen to paper on this issue.
Okay.
We have a real hero in Nassau County, our county executive, Bruce Blakeman.
Yes, this one.
He is of similar mind with me. When it comes to do the right thing, you just got to take your licks, but you got to do the right thing. When everybody else wasn't sure what to do with this women in sports issue, Bruce was one of the first, I think actually the first probably in the country, to ban male, transgender males, or whatever they call themselves, to play in women's sports, to be in women's lockers. Situation going on right now in Virginia, where it was the reverse. First time I heard that happen, where a girl dressed up as a boy was in the boys' lockers, and these young boys, they feel uncomfortable. I'm proud of them that they feel uncomfortable, because yet the judge is actually making the parents having to come up with like $125,000 or $150,000 bond to pay legal expenses. Just to segue for a moment, when we have a similar situation in the assembly and we want to sue because of an illegal bill on the other side of the aisle, like for instance, when the Supreme Court overturned the New York's horrible gun laws, the governor called us back into session and imposed more restrictive gun laws. How do we fight that? We actually have to go out of our own personal pockets and fight the Democrat legislature. It's crazy. This judge is now making parents defend the rights of their children. It's these blue states have been the demise of our great country. I worry when President Trump isn't in office. I actually hope he gets a third term, or whomever of the similar mind has another term. I don't know if there ought to be another person like President Trump. I was a massive Ronald Reagan fan. I grew up just in awe. I felt so proud to be an American. I feel that way with President Trump, but on steroids again. I mean, as a mother and a grandma, again, do you think she's a grandmother, a mother and a grandmother?
My babies.
Do you have any thoughts on this, or do you want to stay out of that end of the politics? Not to put you on the spot.
I think I'm going to stay out of it because I'm not knowledgeable enough to answer. I'm just going to.
But as a mom, like boys in your daughter's locker room, I'd be there. Like,
I'm very against it. But I'm afraid to say anything because my heart goes out to these people. I have a very soft spot for the LGBTQ plus community. I feel like their lives are so difficult in so many ways, and I believe they should have many rights like any other person.
They should get the mental health that they deserve, because up until recently, recently,
I don't think they should be in each other's locker rooms.
Even the left side, even the left always it was cast as a mental disorder. If the Torah tells you, and everybody tells you, if a man is dressed up as a woman, he's not a woman, he's a man, and you have to get them the help that they deserve. No one should be criminalized.
No,
but don't impose your will.
If they want to live as a woman,
but don't impose that on our children and our families. Like,
yes.
I know you, but first thing you said, "Hi, Ari, how you doing? By the way, I'm heterosexual." I don't need to know their business. Right. We don't need to debate this issue. But as a father of 7 and a grandfather of almost 6, you know what? I'm here to protect my children. That's, I think, why we do everything, right? Yes. We would be on vacation somewhere.
There's a lot worse issues in this country than that. So I don't really focus on that.
So
you know,
my guest,
fathers, we're missing fathers in this country.
You're 100% right. But you know what? It's these issues cause the other issues that the people like Zoran Mandami gathers around. And the irony of it is how, to circle back to where we started with Gaza, if any of these transgenders and all of them, not some of them, 99.97 have a hatred for the Jewish people.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they support them. The transgender for Palestinian, for Gaza. If they went to Gaza, you and I both know they wouldn't make it off the plane before
No,
they were killed.
We did.
We're the people who are against what they're doing would protect their rights, yet the people they're supporting
Yeah.
want to kill them.
It's mind-boggling. But there is a very strong Jewish, and again, my heart goes out to them specifically because Jews already is a dirty word in this country right now, right? You have to like say I'm Jewish and like be afraid.
Not me, like I said, I wear my yarmulke proudly everywhere. I never take it off. Everybody
So
knows
my
that.
family is also like that, but most people are not like that. They're hiding their
Not just covering a bald spot.
But you know, these people are already have such challenges, and then on top of that, they're being ostracized from their own LGBTQ plus community. So my heart breaks for them. It's so mind-boggling. They would be killed, not just like, you know, shoved off to the side and hidden.
So shouldn't
would
they
be
support?
murdered.
Shouldn't they support the people that are supporting them?
Of course.
So
It's preposterous. It's ridiculous. It's mind-boggling.
anyway, we
Makes no
hear
sense.
we're here again with Faye from Pens for Swords. I wish I had how would I get the link to them? I know I could send it to me privately. People reach out. Is there another way of doing that? And
Unfortunately,
you
just
vet
to
them
keep
in
it
another
secure.
way, just to
Yeah.
keep it secure. Look at the world we live in. Even when you have to fight for people, you have to look to protect who you are because of the crazies. Thank God I don't get too many crazy messages, but when I do get them, they're
Well, from our group, you're not going to get that much because you're an ally. So the allies.
no, I
at
don't
least
mean that kind of
don't
message. I'm
overboard.
talking about negative messages.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
God
yeah.
my constituents have all been wonderful. Every so often you get the crazies, but with this particular issue, you know, it's amazing. Faye, what is the issue that your group is addressing right now? Is it still the hostages, or will you be segueing into something else?
Always the hostages. That's actually the motivation of all of my work that I've done, and I know that I can speak for most of the group, the team people, that they feel the same way. Obviously, supporting Israel is huge for me. It always has been, and right now we're working on anything. Eurovision has a vote on whether they should kick Israel out. So we're on that. Today we sent a letter about UNRWA, that UNRWA, we want them designated as a terrorist organization, not just to be defunded, but they're a
Beautiful.
terrorist organization.
This is the bold messaging we need to hear because it's not said often. It's certainly not in the New York Times.
Yeah, same thing with CARE, same thing with Muslim Brotherhood and any radical Muslim propaganda, indoctrination of our children in universities. We're all about that. We have a bunch of letters going to some universities today. Rutgers, went out the other day, Tufts University, wherever we're needed, that's where we are.
Do you know my friend and colleague, Professor Jeff Wax? Jeff is a professor at Kingsborough Community College. He's always on Fox News and all these media outlets. A brilliant, dynamic individual. He speaks exactly like you speak. You two should really join forces. He fights CARE. He's a professor that the other professors corner him. You're still around. Nothing can shut this guy down.
Our letters go to various members of the press, so he probably has got them, and then they also go all the way up the chain from, you know, president, vice president, governors, mayors, elected officials, Department of Homeland Security, FBI, wherever.
I think there's a nice shit up there. I'm going to get them two together. In 1960, when Elvis came back from the army, Sinatra said, "You know what? I better have this guy on my show." And the first thing he said was, "You know, we do the same thing just in a different way, but sometimes that collaboration makes beautiful music." And Elvis and Sinatra sang together on that show. But I think that there's something there that we're gonna have to focus on. What do you think of the rebuilding of Gaza, the physical rebuilding? Do you think in 2005 Israel turned over Gaza to the Palestinians instead of taking the billions of dollars and building the country, so to speak, that they could have? They built tunnels.
Yeah.
You see that this is something that will actually transpire?
Okay, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
There will never be peace with these people. And if you're watching social media and online and all the internet news, well, it's not that much on the media, actually, you will see they're actually killing each other right now in the streets. They're actually taking Palestinians and shooting them in front of people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
There are different factions of Palestinian groups.
Like, there are different tribes, I know, but I didn't know that.
Hamas is
You're
going on
listening to the Anthony and Ari Unfiltered program.
That's right. And I guess we're wrapping it up. Anyway, you are listening. I was so engrossed in what my guest Faye has to say. Listen to the Anthony and Ari Unfiltered show on WNEW 102.7 FM. Stay tuned. We're going to be live 7 p.m. every Thursday night. Thank you, Faye. Zev,